of Engineering, Troy White. Hey, Troy.
Hey, thanks for having me, Bart.
Good to see you. Welcome back.
Good to see you.
I actually see Troy a lot. He's downtown. He's on the job all over town, and it's been busy.
Yeah, we're hopping these days.
Yeah.
I think we got 9 different sites, where we got contractors working right now. So
We have had very little rain the last few weeks. Has that helped move the schedule along?
it doesn't hurt, right? Yeah, we're kind of in that funny spot. We're in the third quarter. It's time to really, we see the end in sight, but we really got to make headway right now.
Well, we're going to go through some of the projects, and we
Okay.
actually, our crews went out and got some video of various areas in the city. We'll start right downtown across the street.
Oh.
And what is now known as Victory Lane will soon have a new name. We
Right.
think.
I don't know what that name will be
Yeah.
though, but obviously the IndyCar theme is gone, and it's going to have more of a garden feel to it. There's going to be some outside seating for the for the buildings on both sides of it. It'll be a new parking lot with some more trees, greening it up a little bit, softening it. But really between those buildings where the Victory Lane was, it's going to have a park-like setting. We're going to have trees, and we're going to have the plantings like you have throughout downtown, or at least like out in front of your studio here. It's going to have those types of plantings with overhead lighting similar to what we have over in Blackman Park. So it's just going to be an entirely new feel to it. It'll be a lot softer, very pleasant place to be, and it'll be good for downtown.
Yeah, and you can already see they've got the winding stamped concrete sidewalk. And
Right.
it looks like there's a couple of patios for the two businesses.
Right, and they're tiered so that they're nice and level, but there's you're not going to find any hard edges down there. Everything's rounded off and curved, and just kind of trying to make it comfy and make sure it doesn't feel like institutional or hard, or you don't want a park to feel like a parking lot, right? Mm-hmm. And this will not feel like that. So
Nice.
I think people will be impressed.
And we're going to find out by the time Bright Walls.
Well, it's got to be open for Bright Walls, because on both sides of that new area, Victory Lane area, the Bright Walls will be painting murals. So we're on track to get it done, but it's going to be tight.
All right.
Everyone's hustling.
Nice. Yeah, they've been working there early in the morning and late at night.
Yeah, I
They've
think
been at it.
if you were here on the weekend, you would have seen them down there working
No.
over the weekend.
Up one block to the west, the Michigan Avenue project continues in the 300 block. And that's near the intersection of Blackstone and Michigan.
Yeah, that's that block there between like Veterans Park and Flagstar Bank. And really, that was a section of Michigan Ave. The section west of there had been done by MDOT in 2017. Mm-hmm. The city did the stuff east of there, and we had this little lone block that was left in there. And that lone block there's parts of it that still had the trolley tracks from the 20s.
No kidding.
So basically, it was time to bring. That block needed to be upgraded. The pavement was atrocious.
It was.
And the sewer under it was an old brick sewer, which is, we've been steadily trying to get those out of our system. So when we get done with this, it's going to be just a part of downtown, just like the rest of downtown. It was kind of that block that got, I don't want to say it was left off, but it didn't get the same treatment. It didn't have that same feel. So when we get done, it'll have the parallel parking, it'll have the trees, it'll have the lighting, and be much more inviting, and not something that you just pass through so much.
It's like the youngest kid in the family. There's no
Right.
pictures. And
Yeah. And in this case, we had great road on both sides of it, and then we got this old thing from the 20s that's chewed up and beat up. So
It's going to be great when it's done. Then Greenwood. Greenwood, that's a major project. We've got a couple things going on there.
right. Well, right now it is a big project, but right now we're doing the smallest part first, which is replacing the water main on Morrell, basically within that intersection on Morrell between Greenwood and all the way up to Blackstone. And while we're at it, we're putting in the new bases and everything for the traffic signal. Within a couple weeks, we should be able to get Morrell Street back open. We didn't want to leave that shut down for a couple months, so they're going to get Morrell Street done before they start working on the rest of Greenwood.
Yeah, I realized how much I was using that street because I
Yeah.
always forget.
Well, we were talking about those people who live south of town.
Oh my gosh, is that what's?
Well, that would be an old water main,
Oh, nice.
and that's the tuberculation that you got in there, and it kind of tells you why it's being replaced, right?
Yeah. Wow.
So
Well, obviously needs to be done.
Right.
And then you are going to move to the traffic circle that will surround Austin Blair Park.
Correct. As you in that whole way on Greenwood between Austin Blair Park down to Morale, I think that one. If you looked in the potholes over the last few years, you'd still see the brick under there. So that's still the original street, original construction. Most of our major streets have been rebuilt, but there's a few blocks in there, and this is one of them that'll finally be getting upgraded. And then we'll have the traffic circle around the Greenwood Park.
Will that be done this year?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Then let's go to 2nd Street as we work our way from downtown outward.
Yeah, it's kind of downtown. It's about a block. It's hooked to the loop, but that's basically a reconstruction, new water main. Got all the lead services out of there. All those houses now are on copper. We don't have any lead services there. And then it's going to be new curb and gutter, new driveways, sidewalks are all fixed, and a new street. So basically, when we get done, it's going to last us a while. This was more than a maintenance project. This is a reconstruct.
Looks pretty close to completion too.
Yeah, we're to the point now where it's about ready to be paved. I think that footage is a little old, but they've backfilled behind the curbs and started putting the topsoil in. So the next step will be paving.
Stewart, which is pretty much just across Michigan Avenue from 2nd Street.
Right.
What's going on there?
Well, that was another one where we replaced the water main. And that one, it wasn't a full depth pavement removal. Only those sections that were needed to put new water main were removed. We actually drilled most of that water main in. So right now, what you're seeing here, I think this is from yesterday, they're out there replacing those sections of curb that got taken out during the water main. But after the curbs get put back in and the holes get filled with new asphalt, they'll come in and they'll mill the street. I don't know if you remember, but that section of Stewart,
It's bad.
it was bad.
Yeah.
So it's going to have a brand new surface on it.
Will this be with school starting in a couple weeks? Is it going to be ready?
Well, it's actually school starting next week.
That's right, the 21st.
Right. So
Yeah.
the part of it, like Jeff was just here talking about, they start next week. Their buses actually have to come in off of Stewart. So the goal is to get it paved before school starts. And basically, our paving contractor's on notice. Like, if you can't get it done before school starts, you're gonna have to do it on a weekend or something because we can't have this construction interrupting
Right.
schools and buses, right?
The other school that's impacted by a big project is the middle school at Parkside with the 4th Street.
I think what you'll find is like the impact to them now is minimal because we've got the big project in front of Parkside is completed.
Yeah, which is very nice.
Except for some cleanup stuff, but for the most part, that road's open and usable. So I don't think we'll have a problem getting people to Parkside. We do still have that intersection up there by Ella Sharp's old house that is closed, but the route around that is
It looks close to being done though.
well. What you see, the road looks good right there, but you see what you're missing? You don't have any traffic signal, right?
Oh, right.
Now the traffic signals, we took delivery of them. I think we're taking delivery of them this week.
And they were wrong.
Well, they tried to deliver them about a week and a half ago,
Oh.
and they hadn't been painted. So they got sent back, and they got painted, and now they're back. So
Okay.
the electricians will be out next week to build the traffic signal.
Will those be the black mast arms?
Yep, it'll be black mast arms, and probably take about a week to build the signal. And then once the signal's up, all we'll have to do is put the top course of asphalt on it and put down the pavement stripes. So we're getting close.
Yeah.
But the traffic signal is kind of a big deal. But all the bases are in, all the underground conduits for the conductors and all that are already in. They're buried, you can't see them, but right now it's just kind of got to get the signals up.
One of the, I think, secrets of that intersection previous, I believe it was activated by traffic. It seemed like the signals, if you were coming toward town on Horton, and when you got to 4th, you didn't have to wait long.
Well, there was a loop in the pavement. When you see those signs with the arrow that says "stop here," that means you got to stop there for it to know you're there.
So they mean it.
Yeah. It's funny, we get calls from people, not that one, but there's a couple other around town. For the most part, they're gone, but people would call like, I sat there for 4 minutes, never changed. Well, did you see the sign that said stop here? You got to pull up there, because otherwise it didn't know you're there.
Oh, wow.
But most of the activated signals now, they're using cameras and things like that. So we don't really use the loops as much.
Nice. All right, well, you got a lot going on. We appreciate all the updates.
All right, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
From the City of Jackson, Troy White. Up next, time